So the old definition says development plus operation. So, but if I tell to this layman, which is who is the fresh graduate or who doesn't know about DevOps, let's say that Thiaga is a Java developer. So in this case, he doesn't know, right? So what you have to do? So you have to explain him in a better way. So are we going to do any development work in the DevOps? No. Are we going to do any operation level 1 support or support kind of things? No. So why you are calling as a development plus operation comes to the DevOps. Before going to that, okay, we need to understand what is this DevOps, okay, and why the DevOps is needed in the market. So what is the need of the DevOps in the market? So everybody are going to work with the software delivery, correct? So we are working, all people are working to deliver a product. So that product is going to be, okay, product delivery. That is called as a software delivery. So if you want to deliver a product, okay, so one person can do, no, you have to have the n number of teams to work together. Okay, you have to work together to form a product. You have to work together. N number of teams has to work together to form a software release. So in this case, can you tell me what are all the teams will work together to deliver a product in the company? So can you tell me, guys? Ranjit, Ravindra, Tyagarajan, whomever it is, Kumar. Yeah, tell me. So for me, 3 people are very important. One is a developer, and other is a tester guy, and other is going to be the support guy. So these 3 teams has to talk together, okay, to deliver a product. Do you agree with me, guys? In any kind of software industry, this should be the case. So I am just teaching you the template. This template can be suited to any company in the world. Okay. So do you agree with me up to this? We all are working for a software delivery in the software industry, and you have to work with the n number of teams to get the product delivered. The objective should be achieved, correct? But now the problem here is these guys don't know their other language, correct? Tester doesn't know what kind of language the testing team technically speaks. And support engineer will say, no, this is, he don't understand the components of the development and the functionality. Testing team talks with the functional level, and development team talks in the component or technical level, and support team talks in their own server level. So we need to integrate these people. So it is called as an integration platform. Integration and the communication between these 3 things are becoming very difficult in the world nowadays. So now that's the reason that there should be some practice or a process should put into the place. So that is called as a DevOps. See, DevOps is nothing but a process. What is the process of doing an automation? So you need to do an automation, okay, in the process. So that process, what achievement of the process will be, it is going to be the software delivery. So you are going to deliver a software. So the delivery of the software should make an automation. So you need to make an automation in the software delivery. So if you want to do an automation, you need to make this people life easy, and they need to do their only work. What developer has to do, he has to develop the product. That's it. He don't know how it is going to reach the customer or a support engineer. He don't know. He should not involve in that activity. And for doing that activity, he don't have to wait. So this is what the process we need in the world. This is a problem definition or problem statement. And testing team, he has to test the product and the environment, setting the setup, so setting the product, initial setup of the product and the issues, he don't have to solve it. And there should be a team to solve it. Correct. And the support engineer, he doesn't know how the product should be supported. He knows if SMTP, the mail is not going in a server, he can debug it. If the hard disk is failed, he can debug it, right? But if there is an issue in the application, he doesn't know about it. What are all the components, how it is getting deployed, what is the architecture of the component, he doesn't know about it. For that, he need to depend on the developer or a tester. So this dependency is there, right, again. So this dependency should not be there. So this dependency is making the process delay. So now you need an integrated tool, all the integrated tools to make their life easy, and whenever the developers start developing it or committing it or putting the code in the place, automatically it has to reach the tester. Once the tester is done, automatically it has to reach the support engineer, it has to be delivered in the servers, and it has to ultimately reach the client in no time. In 4 hours or 5 hours, the bug fix has to, and that should be delivered. This is the issue here in the world. They call this process as agile. So now the first technical term I am introducing to you is called agile method. You know agile method, right? Agile method of developing the things. So Tyagarajan, can you tell me what is agile in a very simple word?
Agile will have a small sprints like
no, don't talk technically. Sprint, don't talk about sprint, user stories, task, and retro method. What is agile?
We'll have small tasks that we need to complete within a specific time.
Correct. So to be in a very generic word, agile is a parallel way of developing your development. Development is going in a parallel way. Okay. So one person will not wait for other thing. Okay. In the waterfall method, till now the world was working in a waterfall method. Okay. In this case, everybody will wait. So the developer need to get the requirement. Once the requirement is done, what he will do? He will develop it, and he will do a KT2 tester. So that tester, again he will test it, and so everybody are interdependent here. But if you are agile, okay, if you are working with agile method, so as Tyagarajan told, everything will be in a small group. Okay, in the group, GROUP group. So the development will be happening like that, and in that case everybody will be there in the group. So one developer will be there, one tester will be there, one support engineer will be there, and one product manager will be also there, and finally one DevOps guy will also be there. Okay, so these guys work together and deliver a product very quickly. And for that, now let me come to the DevOps part. So DevOps, as I told, this is the first thing takeaway here. Till now I have spoken some lectures, right? The first takeaway point here is DevOps is nothing but a process. Point number 1. It is not a technology or a tool. This you have to understand. Or DevOps is a process or a particular culture of a company. So this is my culture. So every company will have their own culture, okay, of delivering their product, and because it recommends actually, demands that software industry. So the DevOps is nothing but their own culture of the product development, okay. And finally, the DevOps wants what is the end objective of DevOps? Wants the automation. So you have to automate. What you have to automate? This process. And what process it is? Software delivery. And how you are going to automate it? By using DevOps tools. Simple. So you have a tools in the market to do. So you have n number of tools in DevOps. Okay, so you need to understand this tool terminology and in which scenario which tool should be used. This is very important actually. This is what I am going to teach you. You have a number of tools in the market, but for example, developer, for a development task to make the developer's life easy, you have to specify some specific tools. It is there in the market. It is called as a SCM tool, source control mechanism. Okay, what is the source of your product? Is going to be the code. So you are going to control the source. So this is one of the SCM tools. So what is the SCM tool here? Git and SVN and CVS, clear case, CVS and clear case, and VSS and TFS. So these are all a single, okay, these are all the multiple single objective tool in the versioning system. Okay. Sukumar Gandhi. Okay. I need this recording of this. I need recording of this. Okay. But yeah, so Sukumar Gandhi is a new guy. You know this SCM technique. So in this SCM technique, source control mechanism, so this can be used by the developer. Any one of this tool can be used by the developer to save his code. But you have n number of tools again here. So you need to choose which tool you have to use in the market. So this is the biggest tool that is getting used in the market. Okay, if it is an Indian market, it is using SVN. So SVN is more or like a build and release. So you need to understand what is the build and release and DevOps. So the build and release is a small father of a DevOps. Okay, so the build and release is not only See, that is what. So it is a hi-fi word of build and release is called a DevOps. This is what simply you have to take away. Okay. SVN is the thing which most of the Indian companies are using SVN. But if you talk about the worldwide, the US companies, almost all companies has moved to Git now. And they want a GitHub and GitLab, so everything it has to be automated in the cloud. So they are moving to the cloud. We will talk more in detail about this, but this is a good example of it. So you have a number of tools, and you have to automate the process by using this a number of tools. This is the first point. Are you clear with this point? I repeat the point. DevOps is a process of doing an automation, of doing a software delivery. Okay, for doing this automation process, you need a DevOps tools, where you have to implement by using what in the process of, what is the process within. If your process is there, you have to implement the process somewhere. So where you have to implement across the teams in the company. So as a DevOps engineer, you are the process tool. So you are defining the process by using the tools. So you need to interact with all the layers of the company, and you have to do it. You should be a good coordinator, and you need to use integration tools. Okay, to do that. This only one point I am telling this. So is it clear up to this? If it is not clear, tell me. No, is it clear? Who can explain me? Somebody can explain me. I don't want to point it as a class or a school. But can you explain some? I will be happy if somebody is explaining this thing to me, up to know what I have told.
Hi, Sundar.
Harshal, can you explain me then? Yeah, very good. You have catched the objective, final objective, how the code is getting reached to the production server. But what is this then? So why I need to, how can I do that? So can I call this as a process? You need to set up a process.
Because whatever the developer commits, it goes to the suppose any GitHub repository, then it automatically trigger up via some tools like Jenkins, and then it is deployed to the server.
Oh, you are talking technically. I didn't ask about Jenkins. So you know Jenkins, but how do they know Jenkins, right?
Yeah.
So what you need to do is, it is a process of doing an automation between the developer and the tester and the product support engineer by using different tools. Now we are going to, okay, Harshal is a DevOps engineer, so he understood. What about Krish, Kumar, Ranjit, Ravindra? Up to this point is clear to you guys?
Yes, Sundar.
Yeah, clear.
Okay. So in this case, let's move to the next point. So now let's not discuss about DevOps here. Let's discuss about some process. Okay. Have you written a letter in the world in your lifetime? Did you written any kind of letter? It can be a love letter too. Tell me, boss. No, right? You haven't written any letters, right? So let's talk about the post box. Okay. So post box kind of thing here. So what you are doing, you are writing a letter. Fine. So let's assume that letter. So you are writing a letter. So which language? So maybe you are writing in English or you are writing in Tamil. Okay. So you have written a letter. So what you will do after you are writing a letter? What you will do? You will be right. So you will be posting in postbox. So postbox. So this is the postbox, right? So you have posted your letter in the postbox. Okay, after putting the things in the post box, so what is happening here? So oh my god, the big noise is coming. Wait. Some sound. Where the letter will be sorted out, it will be there in the post office, right? So it will be sorted. So what it will do, they will be doing that as a bundle, correct? So they will be putting something in a bundle and they will be transporting the letter to either a Chennai or Hyderabad. Chennai, or either they will be doing that as a Chennai or a Hyderabad case. Okay. So now this process you understood, right? So this process you should understand that, saying that the letter is written in English or Tamil, and after writing a letter you are posting in a post box. So this is the post box is a place where you are collecting the letters. So once the post box is done, okay, the postmaster will take it to the post office and bundle it actually, okay, and bundle it to the particular place and send it to the appropriate location. Okay, this is what the process is. Now let's try to understand the DevOps with this perspective. So writing a letter is nothing but your development. So where the development is happening, either a Java or .NET, correct? So this is the major thing, or C or C++. So this is the major development thing is happening. So once the developer is developing the code, you need to have a place to store the code, correct? That is called as a SCM system, which is source control maintenance system. It can be a Git or it can be a SVM. So now this is the first tool which I am introducing to you as a DevOps tool called Git and SVM. Okay, so this is the place as a DevOps engineer you are responsible to implement this tool into your company and make your developer to save the code in these tools, so that it is a versionized system and anytime you can retrieve or lot of n number of people can work in the same file by using some mechanism. Okay, so there are some commands and you need to take a backup of your code every night or every week or whatever it is. You cannot say to your management that the code is lost. So you need to have, if a server is crashed, and lot of mechanisms are there. Simply, as a DevOps engineer, the first and foremost role is to maintain your source control system. Okay, what is the source of your company? It is going to be a code, right, which is very, very important. If the Facebook is there, the code base of the Facebook is very important. Okay, they are having a code base of 20 years. They cannot say that I don't have a code of the 10th year release. If they want a core pack of the core Facebook, they need to go for the 5 years back and get the release back. So they will be having all the things in their mind. So that tool, they will be storing the things in the Git and SVM. Okay, either the things is there. So this is the first DevOps tool that I am going to teach you. So the developer will write coding and put it in the Git or save it in the Git tool or any SCM tool. And after that, what it happens, you have to bundle that, right? Directly you cannot give the source control system to your client. So you need to use a build tool. There is something called a build tool in the market, and it can be a Maven or it can be a Ant, or it can be a MS build, or it can be a make. So these are all the things. So Maven is nothing. Maven and Ant is for a Java project. If it is a Java project, the build tool should be Maven and Ant. And if it is a .NET project, it is going to be the Microsoft build. So it is a small tool. So everything is a command. Actually, you need to put the command and give the input of that file to it. And make is nothing but C and C++. Okay. So there is a build tool called make. So what will be the output of this build, or what will be the output of the product? It can be a jar or a var, or it can be a exe or a DL, or it can be a tar file. Simple. So this is the all the code or all the product in the world should fit into this template. Finally, it has to be a jar or a var or DL or DXE. This is the code, and this code should be given to the testing team. Understood? So now the Chennai team is going to be testing team, or you can call it as a UAT environment. This is a technical word. So now I have taught you two technical things. One is the SCM tool, and other is going to be the build tool, which can be a Maven or Ant or whatever it is. So now this is the post office where the bundling is happening. You have bundle the letters, right? So this is what it is happening here. So once the letter is bundled, okay, you are delivering it, right? Or the transportation is here. It's called as a deployment. So you are deployment. So you are deploying your final final product into one place to other place. That is called as a, it can be a testing, it can be a production environment, or it can be a staging. Different environment will be there in the world, but the most prominent thing is dev, testing, and production or staging. So these are all the things. So for me, the deployment is the same. I don't know where I'm going to deploy, but it is important for a company that they have to tell which deployment I need to do it. So if you want to do a deployment, okay, before doing a deployment, I need to make this one ready, right? So I will be calling this process as a CI and CD. Okay, there is a important word is called CI and CD. What is CI is there is continuous integration, INTEGRATION, and integration, I'm bad in spelling, okay, continuous integration. So C is not typed correctly. Continuous integration and continuous deployment. There is a word called continuous deployment, CD. So what is the continuous integration? This jar should be built automatically when the developer is committing the code in any SCM system. Automatically this build tool should pick up the code from this SCM system and make the jar out of it, make the bundle out of it. So this process of automating this two-step, automatically taking the code and using the build tool. If you want to just build the system, then it is going to be your what? CI. That is continuously you are integrating your project. You understand? Now the process is coming into picture. So you are automating the process. So what developer needs to do? Just develop the code and save it. Once the code is saved, okay, automatically the code will be transformed into the bundle format. Okay, by using the process called CI. Understood now? So are you clear in this point, which is very important point in DevOps? The whole world is working for this one. Okay, that can be possible by the tool called Jenkins or TeamCity or Hudson or Bamboo. So Jenkins is the most important tool. Jenkins and Hudson both are same, and TeamCity and all, it is not less used in the market, so nobody is using it. So either people will be using Jenkins. So Jenkins and Hudson are both same. Okay, so only thing is either people will be using Bamboo or Jenkins. That's it. So Bamboo is not a free source. That's the reason you could not able to learn it correctly. But the concepts are same in both Jenkins and Bamboo. So if you know Jenkins, you can work in Bamboo. So most 99% of the world is using Jenkins for this purpose. And 1% of company, very big companies, they are using Bamboo because they can pay the version and take it from Atlassian company. So it's an Atlassian product. Bamboo is an Atlassian company product. They will pay and take it. But most of the companies, they will not pay. Jenkins is an open source. Without paying, they can take it. So that's the reason, and it is more stable also nowadays. So Jenkins is a tool which is a CI/CD tool. Okay, what is CI/CD? Continuous integration and delivery can be done by using Jenkins. You see, I told I'm going to tell lot of terminologies, right? Those all tools will be interlinked in Jenkins, and the job can be triggered by Jenkins. Now you understand what is CI and how the CI is getting achieved by using the Jenkins tool. Now, what will happen here? Once the jar is there, it is no use that if you are not giving to the end customer. So for you, who is the end customer? Is the testing team and the production team for the DevOps team, right? So you need to give it to this. So this process doing this is called as a deployment. Okay, if there is a deployment, okay, if you are talking about the deployment here, okay, you can talk about what is a deployment here. Okay, so the deployment is nothing but the process of taking this jar from this place to deploying in the UAT or the testing team is called. So here it is called as an environment. So what is an environment again? So the environment is nothing but a combination of servers is going to be the environment. So you are going to have lot of servers for your company, and you are going to deploy the things in the servers. So this servers can be a physical or it can be a cloud. Understood? It can be a cloud system also. It can be a cloud system also. So this is a servers. To maintain all the servers, so you are going to do a deployment in the servers, right? For example, you have to serve for the testing team. Okay, so in this case, you have to deploy the things, right? So for that, if there is a tool which is used in the market, is called Chef and Puppet. So Chef and Puppet is a tool which is called as the infrastructure automation tool. There should be an infrastructure automation tool is required. So infrastructure automation tool is called as a Chef and Puppet. Understood? So what you need to do is, if you want to do something, the stupid buses, yeah, I want to just blue them. Okay, fine. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. So see, this is called as an infrastructure automation tool. Either the Chef and Puppet is called the infrastructure automation tool here. Okay. So what happens is, whenever you want to deploy something in the servers, okay, can you just deploy the things in the servers like that? No. You have to do a application transfer and the configuration file transfer. So that file and everything, so for example, you need to do a deployment means you need to enter to each and every server manually, or you need to write a shell script or whatever it is, then you have to do it. But this is a tool that automatically it gives the server and the client platform, and automatically you can connect to your machines and do your deployment automatically in a single or in a single command. So that is called as a Chef. Now you understand why the Chef is there. It is a deployment tool, and the Chef can be operated again by Jenkins. So the delivery, continuously you are delivering a product by using the Chef by using Jenkins. So Jenkins is a one-stop shop solution for all your issues in the DevOps. So you can do different tools activity by using your Jenkins. And wherever you want to do some activity, you can trigger that activity by configuring that as a job by using Jenkins. So now if you want to do a delivery, you use the Chef recipe to do an automation. Again, the Puppet is also same tool. Okay, so both are doing the same purpose here actually, Chef and Puppet. And some other tool is also there called Ansible to do the same work. So these are all the three major popular tool in the world to do this work. But having 90% of the share, and Puppet is having 9.9% of the share. This Ansible is having 0.01% of the share. But if you know Chef, you can easily manage these two things. The concept is going to same: how to connect to the server and how to write. Here they will be calling the terminology called recipe. There it is the same file is called manifest or playbook. So everything. So in Puppet it is called as a manifest. Okay. Ansible it is called as a playbook. So the name will be different, but the way will be very similar. So now till now you understood, right? What I guys. So there is a new guy called Prajwal. Okay, who is this? Anybody is having issue, they can talk to me. Uday. So there is another guy called Uday also there. Please talk, guys. I don't understand. So this is automation tool that we are going to use it. Fine, boss. Now what can happen here? So there can be a cloud here. So when I talk about a cloud, it is not a physical machine, right? So cloud means you have to get some cloud from somebody else, right? So the world here is AWS now. Okay, AWS and Google Cloud. Lot of other clouds are there in the world. Okay, Google Cloud is there. Okay, and Microsoft is also giving the cloud, and OpenStack is also there. Okay, but so these are all the cloud which is there in the market, but most of the time people are master with AWS. Okay, they give the stable service. So here we are going to see the AWS cloud. So we are going to do all the hands-on from the scratch. Okay, there we are going to have the real-time project or Java project. So it's a VAR application. So we are going to deploy up to this the cloud. Since we don't have a physical machine, we could not able to get the physical machine in as a like a real time. So most of the real time people are using cloud, and we are going to use the AWS cloud here. And I'm going to teach you the AWS cloud instance, and we are going to deploy our applications in the cloud. Understood? So in this case, I will be teaching you AWS. Now, what are all the tools that we have discussed now? It is going to be the Git and SVN for SEM. So why we are going for the Git and SVN? Because the developer is developing the code in a Java or .NET or C or C++. He has to save he need to have some bureau or locker to save his code. So that locker is called as a Git. So you are writing a letter and posting in a postbox. So the postbox is going to be a SEM tool, which is Git and Subversion. Okay. So once the letter has been posted, you have to sort it out and bundle it. So for the particular location. So for that you are using a bundle process here, and it is called as a build process. So you are going to build by using the build tool again. So now I am talking about the tool in the process of automation. Is called Maven, Ant, and MS Build and Make. So Maven and Ant is for a Java project, MS Build is for a .NET project, C and C++ talks about the Make. So this will happen in the post office. So this will happen in the post office. So here the post office is equal to Jenkins. So Jenkins is a post office for us. Why? Because the CI and CD is happening in Jenkins. So what is CI and CD? The process of automating the developer developing the code and saving it in SEM. Automatically it will be checked out, and by using build tool, the jar, var, and the output binary. So this can be an output binary of your code. So that will be automatically computed. Understood? By using this CI. So making the process automatically building the jar is called CI. Once the jar is built or a var is built, delivering it to the testing team or the production team or anywhere in the environment is called a CD, continuous delivery or continuous deployment. You can call it as a delivery or a deployment, both are same. So the CD is also happening with the Jenkins. How you are going to deliver? You need to, while you are delivering, you need to have some tool to manage your server. So that tool delivery is called Chef and Puppet. Okay. So it is called as the infrastructure automation tool. So now, which is going to be your infrastructure, physical machine or a cloud? If it is a physical machine, that's fine. If it is a cloud, you need to talk to your AWS instance. So you need to understand what is Amazon Web Services also. So now, till now, is it clear? Now what will happen, since it is a physical machine, I will be teaching you the Linux commands. So the Linux is the basic, Linux and the Unix commands are the basic of your DevOps. So as a DevOps engineer, you need to be little good in administration also. You should be a Linux server admin also, because everything which is going to be happen in the server and the cloud, so everything is getting virtualized here, but the server is same. You need to have a platform to work on your application. You host your application. So the application will be most probably hosted on the Linux and the open kernel. Okay, so it can be a Linux or a Unix. Okay, and you need to know about some shell script part also. So I will be teaching you the Linux commands, advanced and the basic, and the admin part, which how to troubleshoot the application which is running. For example, if a Java application is running, okay, with the Tomcat service, if the service is down, what to do? If the page is not reachable, what to do? If the application is stuck up, you need to see monitor the load of the server, which is the process which is getting, which is the port which is blocked. If the port is blocked, like this, lot of troubleshooting mechanism you have to improve. For each and everything, you cannot go to the Linux server expert and ask all these things. You are hosting, so he can explain in a production. But if there is an issue in UAT, you will go for testing team or development server. So will you go to this each and every time the expert? No. The market is expecting the DevOps engineer itself to solve it. So he has to be a level 1 and level 2 and level 3 administrator. Okay, so in this case, you will be also good in it. Understand? So this is the demo of, so now you understand The code is developed and automatically it is reaching to the end user by using this automation tool without disturbing anybody else. Correct? In 10 minutes or 20 minutes, if you want a small project to be delivered, you can deliver by using the DevOps, by using this tool. And last but not least, there is something called a Docker. So that industry also demands something called a Docker, which is a virtualization tool. Okay, so that tool is nothing but a container tool. So the complete environment, this environment is there, right? This server, chef, everything. So chef, puppet, all these things are doing something, right? So that can be reproduced, or you can create your complete this testing environment by using a Docker container tool. You can run each and everything as the image. Okay, it is a very hardware. It is hardware independent. You can run in your single Ubuntu or a Linux machine 5 Microsoft server and 3 Ubuntu server, 1 any kind of kernel in a single tool by using the virtualization concept of containers, and you can use the build image and you can do it. So this is a container tool that we are going to also see. Okay, so that's the end of our DevOps story. So if you know all these tools, and now you understood where these tools are getting used, and you need to have a hands-on on one of this process. So you need to have a Java application, you need to use the Maven or Ant to build it and put it in the branching strategy. There will be a lot of branching strategy will be there. So in the Git, people will be saying it's a GitHub and GitLab. So it is nothing but a Git only, but it is a cloud formation of Git. You don't have to install a server. So you can go there and create a repository. It is very graphical user interface. Okay, and GitHub is not a paid, it is not a free, you have to pay, and GitLab is a free one. Understood? So this is a cloud formation. Again, it's a cloud formation of Git. Okay, that is called as a GitHub and GitLab. So we will be using the hands-on with the Git Bash and GitHub. Okay, so a lot of things. I don't want to go technically more deep into it, but you should understand this terminologies right now. That's it. That is understandable. If it is understandable, that's fine for me. And now I have told you which tool is getting fit in which process of the automation which I have told you. Right. So now you can read my old thing. DevOps is nothing but a process of a software delivery, and you need to automate the process. The process of software delivery will be automized by using the DevOps tools, and you have a number of tools, and which is the most famous tools. I have told the famous tools here to get the job done. That's it. So if you understand the hands-on on this tools, you can get job easily in the market. So this is what I would say. And the DevOps is a heart in the market. And tell me if you are good, and if you want to come to Chennai, tell me, I can place you in Chennai in my company. So my 10 lakhs. Okay, and for scripting you don't need again a logical big classes, and you don't have to write an object and all those things. It is going to be a simple Linux commands. SCP is a Linux command, PS is a Linux command, mkdir is a Linux command, copy is a Linux command, restart is a Linux command in the Tomcat. So Tomcat, inside the bin folder, you need to go and you have to use startup or stop, shutdown. This you have to execute.
It's
you
integration of all commands inside the shell script.
Shell script is nothing but, or a Perl script, anything is nothing but a combination of commands put together by using a control structure, which is going to be if, else, loop, all those things. If you are going to put, it is going to be a control structure, and it is you are going to call it as a script. That's it.
Yeah.
Multiple commands put together to form an operation is called shell script. That's it. Maybe you can use if, while, loop, the control structure. Other questions?
No, Sundar. Thanks.